Chapter 5, Argument over a room. Noveno told them that they needed to make a plan in the lobby. Tomedo had more than enough of asking and then getting rejected and saying they should try another way, but Noveno insisted on trying her idea. After a quick argument, Tomedo chose not to speak and went back to the lounge. Noveno and Ashuko followed. "We need a good reason to convince her to give us access to a classroom," Noveno's phone said. "Could we create a story?" Ashuko's phone said. "Good idea. We could say that our homeroom teacher asked us to borrow a classroom for her project." Noveno's phone said. "We could also practice our acting skills," Ashuko's phone suggested. Ashuko and Noveno continued planning their convincing story for the next 15 minutes. After a while, Noveno and Ashuko noticed that Tomedo hadn't said anything. "Tomedo, is our plan good?" Noveno's phone said. "Is a classroom really necessary? You're telling me you're going to start crying to convince the strictest, and possibly least emotional, teacher to give us a classroom?" Tomedo's phone said. "Of course. Did you see me acting?" Noveno's phone said. "There are countless spots to hold sessions outside of school. We can do it at my place." Tomedo's phone said. "No. We can't trust that every single day we can go to your house." Noveno's phone said. "Does it matter? She doesn't need to learn English 24/7. Tomedo's phone said. Ashuko taught 24/7 meant their deadline for their classes to end. She felt discouraged by the realization that mastering the language would take a considerable amount of time. Ashuko was also a bit anxious about whether they would be friends after that. Would she be able to make friends even if she learned the language, or would she spend the following years alone? "What do you know? The only thing you're good at is writing your name without any spelling mistakes," Tomedo retorted. "So what? At least I study." Noveno replied a bit more aggressively. "What do you have against this plan? Is your dad against you helping a girl learn English after school? If that's such a problem, then just leave." Noveno argued. "I won't leave. I don't want us to waste our time finding a classroom. I don't want to stay in school after I get tortured for 7 hours. My dad will be suspicious if I stay an extra hour at a place that I absolutely hate. If we could just do it somewhere else, then here," Tomedo argued. Everyone was silent for a few seconds until Tomedo continued. "What is even your reason? Why did you join?" Noveno sat quietly and didn't say anything for a minute. Couple of seconds went by and Noveno told her side of the argument. "My parents are very protective. I can only leave my house when I go to school, football training, or a party if my parents are there or they are very good friends with the host. Through these sessions, I can finally stay out of my house a few times a week. I just wanted to escape from my home for a while. It felt like I was in prison. Here, I feel safer. The chances of the teachers telling on me are low. They act like they care about what we do, but in reality, they couldn't care any less. If we could do it here, it would mean the world to me," Noveno said sorrowfully. Ashuko knew that they argued due to the speaking tone changing. Ashuko could sense that they were fighting about whether they should study in a classroom. "Are you willing to help her?" Tomedo asked. Noveno nodded. "I ain't that selfish." Noveno responded. Noveno and Tomedo still didn't use Google Translate, so Ashuko thinks they're still arguing. She felt like she should do something about it, so she decided to step in. "I am going tomorrow morning to see the principal to sign some papers and talk about some school stuff. I think I can convince him to give us a classroom. After that, we can decide on a good compromise on where to study." Ashuko's phone said. "Are you sure you can pull it off?" Tomedo's phone said. "I don't know, but it's worth a try." Ashuko's phone said. All of them left the school shortly and went home. Noveno left at the school gate, and Tomedo left after accompanying her to her home. After arriving at the apartments and standing in front of the lift, Ashuko was determined to secure a classroom for their sessions, no matter what.